Yo, what's going on, guys? We are back for another Chainsaw Man chapter, number 142, called Denji Fan Club, and this one is pretty good. I really enjoyed it, the whole thing through. It's sort of shorter, but it really sets up what's going to happen in the next chapter because we have no break. Hail to the Lord, man. Fujimoto's going hard on us. Pause. But either way, we have no break. We can just start off in the chapter with the first page, and it's just an establishing shot of like this carnival fair thing. I'm not really sure what to call it. It looks like it's outside though. There's some rides and stuff, and then we see Nayuta. She's like in like this car, like kids ride, and she's like pumping her fist, like going hard because she probably loves this. She's having a great time right now. You already know she does. But we have Denji. He's sitting on this bench just watching, and of course he looks a little depressed. Like I don't think we've seen Denji look that happy in this part of the story yet. Like he's just been sad as fuck because he can't be Chainsaw Man. He's getting threatened left and right and all this stuff. But we have Fumiko. She like pulls up to talk to him. I'm not sure if she was there already or if she just like appeared out of nowhere. But she's talking about how like, oh, you didn't join the Chainsaw Man church, Denji. Like, that's weird. But Denji's like, relax. I'm not gonna turn into Chainsaw Man ever again. Like, you know, she's a part of public safety. I think Special Division 7. Like, she's a full-grown adult. I don't know why she's pretending to be a student and calling Denji senpai. Like, she does it in this chapter too, but she's like 26 or something. I'm not really sure, but she's like, you know, you got to make sure you don't turn into Chainsaw Man, and she's going to be the one that's going to be watching him. But in reality, she's like, it must suck to not be able to turn into Chainsaw Man because, you know, it must feel really good. And all the recognition and the respect, and like I imagine you experience thrills that us ordinary people couldn't even get close to. And of course, this girl's sort of just like gaslighting Denji at this point. Like she's a Chainsaw Man fan, she's a Denji fan. We had the whole chapter title thing later in this chapter, but we basically hear Fumiko talking about how, like, you know, it must feel good to turn into Chainsaw Man, you know, you must really want to, you know, you probably should do it. And I mean, we have Yoshida, who is on public safety, her boss, I would guess, or at least, you know, he said that they're friends or something, but, you know, he says, don't turn into Chainsaw Man, but she's like, I want you to turn into Chainsaw Man, or something like that. So this is just really interesting because, you know, we had public safety, then we had the Chainsaw Man Church. Chainsaw Man Church wants Denji to be the Chainsaw Man. The Devil Hunters don't want him to be. But then we have like factions in this Devil Hunter group, I guess, or public safety that, you know, Fumiko wants Denji to turn into Chainsaw Man, but Yoshida doesn't. And I wonder if there's more like turmoil going on in the like public safety sphere where like we want him to be Chainsaw Man so we can help. Or like we don't want him to be Chainsaw Man so he doesn't fuck shit up. So yeah, we don't really know what's fully going on yet, but we know a lot of people have different opinions on what Denji should do so far. But then we have, I mean, one of the most outrageous things said in this chapter that sort of leads Denji to just go off. But she says, I'd rather die than get watched by people while I'm in the bathroom, like the Chainsaw Man does. And Denji's like, what? I'm getting watched in the bathroom? And he's like, so like, he's like, what? Like, huh? And we know why, because, I mean, of course it's Denji, but we have Fumiko talking about how like, oh, I wasn't supposed to say that, I guess, you know, pretend you never heard it. And I sort of feel like she's like faking this, where she's like letting this information out so that Denji sort of mistrusts public safety more and more. Because she has her own plans, I feel like. I think she's got her own motivations and reasons why she's talking to Denji. And obviously, we get to see them later, but I think it's more than just that at the end of the chapter, but we will see, I guess, in the future, probably, maybe, if she doesn't die, of course. But we have Denji saying like, huh? Like, what? Are you serious? Like, I've jerked off in there. And that's the best part. Like, he's like, that's where I do my business, bro. And everybody's watching me? Nah. But Fumiko keeps talking about how like, oh geez, like I really done it now, I guess, like I'm gonna get in trouble again. And you can just like feel the sarcasm coming off of her at this point. And then she's like, seriously? Like, you guys are like the lowest of the low. Like, you guys are terrible people. Watching someone in the bathroom? And I mean, that's like one of the things that like most, like, I guess like even like schools with cameras, like police stations, there's no cameras in the bathrooms usually. So it's not really, I guess, like right to watch people in the bathrooms, but obviously I think this might be Yoshida using his like octopus devil powers in some way, because he can camouflage himself and like he can just like appear out of nowhere and teleport. So I think it's Yoshida that's watching him. But Fumiko, she's not really like leading on in any way that it is him. She's just saying that he is being watched by somebody, and like she let the cat out of the bag when she wasn't supposed to, but she definitely did it on purpose. We have to believe that. But then Denji, he's like touching my wiener first, and then you watch me in the bathroom. Like, you're a total stalker. And Fumiko's like, who wouldn't want to touch the Chainsaw Man's wiener? Like, bro, what? I mean, I think a lot of people, but we'll just go. She says, like, I'm not a stalker. I'm a fan. Call me your fan. And Denji's like, what? No, you're not my fan. Like, all the women that, like, come on to me fucking hate me. And I love that Denji's finally, like, I guess at least acknowledging this. Like, I mean, I feel like he knew this before, but now he's finally saying it, like, out loud, I guess. Like, all the women that like me, like, they fucking hate me. They want to kill me in one way. They want me to do stuff for them. They want to use me in some way. Like, there's no women that actually want to talk to me. Also, if you guys like the Chainsaw Man content, want new chapter reviews and more videos each week, just please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Back to the video. And I mean, yeah, that's just Denji. It's just true. Like, every single female relationship he's had has been very toxic, especially this one too. Like, this girl is fucking crazy, and I hope we get rid of her soon. But Fumiko, she like sits there, she thinks, and she's like, well, you know, I do hate you a little bit, but like, it's not that I hate, like, you know, Denji. I hate the Chainsaw Man because he didn't save my mom and dad. And that's interesting because, you know, usually the whole idea of like Chainsaw Man coming to save people is what like people like Chainsaw Man for. Like, they love him because he saves people and all this stuff, even though Denji does not try to save people at all. It just happens like by chance. Like, I mean, with the cat thing, remember, he's like, there was a cat here, dude. He didn't care about both of those like cars full of people. But Denji's like, oh shit, like Chainsaw Man I didn't save your parents. And he sort of thinks about this stuff, and then Fumiko tells us about her past, and whether or not it's true, I'm not sure. I mean, she could be lying, who knows? But the town where the Chainsaw Man and the Gun Fiend fought, so Aki and Denji, was the same town that I lived in. And we just sat down to have dinner, and then my house just gets fucking destroyed. But she's talking about how like she came out of the rubble, she crawled out, and then she saw the Chainsaw Man and the Gun Fiend, and they were fighting right in front of her. And she was like, I tried to yell for you to help me, but like, it got drowned out by all the Chainsaw Man noises and probably all the gunshots. But she's like, Chainsaw Man didn't even notice me. And then Denji, he's sitting like, oh gosh, like, and your mom and dad, did they survive? And she's like, no, they died. But don't worry about that, because like, the reason being, I don't see Chainsaw Man as a superhero like everybody else, because, you know, everybody sees him as this like larger than life, like superhero. Even the Chainsaw Man church thinks of him as like a god. And then she continues saying, like, when Chainsaw Man turned back into a human that day, like, you were crying, weren't you? Because of course, like, it was Aki he had to kill, and I was like, you know, his big brother, even his father figure. But she's like, when I saw that for the first time, I realized like the one that's been fighting all these devils while getting killed over and over again, like, must be suffering greatly, was just like some kid. And I like how she says like just some kid, because, you know, she's a full-grown adult and Denji isn't. But either way, she's talking about how, like, you know, I made up my mind in that moment. Like, I want to save him, save this boy. And then she like looks over at Denji. She's like, I'm a huge Denji senpai fan. Like, not a Chainsaw Man fan, a Denji fan. And I fucking hate how she keeps saying senpai. I said this earlier. She keeps saying it, and she's like what, 9 years older than Denji? Something like that. Like, come on, girl, you gotta chill. And I think she's being put up to this in some way. Maybe Yoshida's doing it. Maybe she's doing it herself. Like, she's just trying to like torture Denji in some way by doing all this stuff. But it seems like she has like this weird connection that's not reciprocated to Denji. And I don't think Denji likes her very much at this point. I mean, he sort of got like sexually assaulted by her. And now she's like talking all this shit about, you know, you didn't save me and stuff. And Denji sort of feels a little bit sad. But then, it doesn't even matter what he has to say. Bareem, he sits down and he says, that's me. I'm a Chainsaw Man fan too. Not a Denji fan, of course. I'm just a Chainsaw Man fan. And of course, Bareem and the Weapons Humans hugely put like the Chainsaw Man up on this pedestal because he saved them. At least I think that's why they like him that much. Is like, because Sugo, he's like, you know, I want to be friends with you because you're a regular person. and you also saved me. Stuff like that. But Bareem, he's sitting there, and this is really interesting because we have the Chainsaw Man Church next to Denji on the one side, and then we have the Devil Hunters on the other side with Fumiko. So this stuff is just like crazy. And then we see like a face like from Fumiko, and she's like, huh? Like, it seems like she's sort of confused, sort of worried, but Bareem keeps talking about how, like, man, Japan's public safety, like, they are pretty impressive. It was no walk in the park trying to get here without being seen. So it seems like that the public safety know about the weapons devils, they know their true identity, and they know that they're a part of the Chainsaw Man Church. And I'm not like totally sure how they know all this stuff. Maybe it was in a different chapter and I just fucking forgot, but I just see this as like, they know, everybody knows about this stuff but us. It seems like we're sort of being kept in the dark on what's going to happen and like who these people really are. But it seems like the Devil Hunters and public safety, they already know about this person and like, I guess this group. But Denji's like, what do you want? Like, I did not come here to talk to you. I already rejected your offer. I don't got nothing left to say to you. And then Bareem, he lights up a cigarette. He's like, this is proof of my fandom. I got the Chainsaw Man lighter. And like, of course, there's just Chainsaw Man Church everywhere, even though now it's probably all at a discount because, nobody really likes him. But then we have Bareem talking about how like, will you listen to my fan request? Personally, I want to see the Chainsaw Man fight again. See him carving up devils, getting covered in gore, suffering and struggling and getting killed over and over again. And despite all that, he comes back to life each time. I just want to see it sometime. I want to see it again. So Bareem is like a real Chainsaw Man dick rider. Like, he loves him, it seems like. And whether or not it is his own like feelings for it, or he's being told to manipulate Denji in some way, I'm not sure. But I do think that he like sort of idolizes the Chainsaw Man just like Sugo does. But we see Bareem, he's like, okay. He's sitting there for a little bit smoking a cigarette and he's like, moments from now, there's going to be a big devil attack. So, it's just a hunch that it's going to happen on the first floor. I'm not really sure, but if I had to guess, the folks down here will be shouting, Chainsaw Man, please save me. And then we have the last page. And we see this like establishing shot of a food court. And then underneath that, we see our 3 hybrids that we have finally been introduced to, the whip, spear, and then the sword man. And they're just chilling, they're just standing there. And it looks like they're about to go down to business. Like the spearman, he's just chilling like with a cigarette. Sugo's just chilling there with his school uniform on. And then we have the whip devil, who's like sitting there like arms crossed with like these big like glasses on, sunglasses, maybe goggles, I'm not sure. They're just chilling like this with like their coat on their shoulders, like One Piece style. But I mean, she's only been shown with her like coat around her shoulders most of the time. So that's just like interesting. I mean, I guess it's just character design, but at the end of the day, I am pretty sure that these guys are going to start this devil attack. And whether or not it's just to get the Chainsaw Man out there to fight them, I'm not sure. But I also get the idea, like, he says there might be a big devil attack in which, like, maybe literally there's going to be a big devil that's going to attack that they will summon from somewhere. And that's interesting because, like, the weapons humans, they might just be there. Like, if Denji doesn't change, they will take him out. But wouldn't the Chainsaw Man Church want like Asa to do that so like she gets all the fame and glory? So that's why I'm sort of thinking that, they are here to attack, just murder, just kill stuff. Because we know like, I mean, with just like all of these like weapons humans, they're really strong. And like Sugo could just like go like this, swing his arm and probably like chop off a bunch of buildings like Madara style. But like these guys, they definitely can cause a lot of harm, at least it seems like. And I mean, they're very dangerous. Like Makima was even like cultivating some of these guys, bringing them into like her control. So we know that these guys can do a lot, but Denji, I guess at least the full form Chainsaw Man could easily take them out. But we will see what Denji's able to do next chapter, because I sort of thought that we would go and cut to Asa this chapter and like see what's going on with her, maybe have a few more chapters with her before we go back to this. But it seems like we're going straight into this devil attack after this chapter. I mean, I hope. And then maybe Asa will pull up later, because we haven't seen her in a while. I mean, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen her in like 3, 4, 5 chapters, something like that. But we got to see her pull up sometime. And maybe she does after she hears this big attack is happening and Denji's there. And maybe she goes there to save him in something. But we do know Nayuta is also there. And, a horseman. She's probably strong enough to control all of these weapons devils, so I don't really know what they're doing. Like, do they know that Nayuta is Makima's like reincarnation, or like do they like have no clue? Because they all seem scared of Makima. I mean, at least Sugo was, and I'm taking his feelings as like most of the groups. But they don't like Makima. They were controlled by Makima. And Nayuta has the exact same powers. She doesn't have the same conscience, of course. Like, she's nicer. I hope she's nicer, but it sort of seems like a flawed plan if they knew that Nayuta was the control devil. But if they don't, this seems like it could be pretty cut and dry. Denji says he doesn't want to change. He starts getting attacked. Nayuta saves him. I think that could easily happen because she's the control devil, man. She's insanely strong. She can just like shoot her chains at people and force them to be controlled. She can change their memories. She literally erased Asa's memory of her being at Denji's house. So we definitely are in store for some big stuff. Like, I don't per se want to see Nayuta fight, but like, if it comes down to it, she's strong enough to be able to protect Denji. Denji might not be strong enough to protect Nayuta in the same way that she is strong to protect him, but we aren't really sure what Denji can fully do, I guess, because we've seen him in the full Chainsaw Man form. It wasn't his consciousness, but it was his body. And maybe there's a way for him to access that somehow. It doesn't seem like he talks to Pochita that much like he used to, so we definitely will see. This chapter is like building up a crazy amount of hype for me. Like, I cannot wait for next Tuesday, but please let me know what you guys think of this chapter. Like, do they know that Nayuta's the control devil? Do they know like their plans might not succeed if she's there? Does like public safety know that Barim's the flamethrower devil and all these guys were working with Makima at one point? Like, of course, I'm not sure, but please let me know, of course. And then, do you guys think next chapter we will be fighting? Because we've been waiting for a big bombastic fight for a while in this part. Like, we really haven't seen that much fighting recently, but I mean, it's one of the pieces of Chainsaw Man that make it just so amazing. Like, Fujimoto's paneling and like just the action shots that he has are just beautiful, man, beautiful. So like, I can't wait to see just some more, I guess, fighting that Denji can do, because we definitely haven't seen him do much. We've only seen him like just come in at the end of the fight, clean it up, and be done. Like the cockroach devil, I think it was, like, we saw him throw out one attack and be done, which it was still like epic as fuck in my opinion. And I think that was like really the only like big fight we've had besides like the spear, the aquarium spear being thrown at the Eternity Devil. I think this fight will probably be the biggest in this part if we actually get to fighting, because you know, Fujimoto, he just might have it end like Denji just leaves and then public safety comes up and then they save everybody. But of course, public safety is supposed to be getting like massacred by Barim and all these guys. So we will definitely see next week is going to be probably one of, if not the biggest Chainsaw Man chapters like since part 2 came out. So yeah, please let me know what you guys thought about the video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And thank you guys. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that too. But thank you guys for watching the video, and peace.